It was a quiet summer night. The kind of night where most people were asleep, unaware that within a few hours an event would unfold that would send shockwaves across an entire state. What began as an ordinary June evening would eventually become one of Minnesota's most disturbing political violence cases in recent memory. And at the center of it all was a man whose actions would trigger a massive investigation, a statewide manhunt, and a courtroom reckoning that has now reached a dramatic conclusion. Years later, that conclusion arrived, when 58-year-old Vance Bolter stood before a federal judge and admitted responsibility for a series of attacks that forever altered multiple families. But to understand how the case reached this point, we have to go back to the beginning. Welcome back, everyone. If this is your first time here, I'm so glad you found us. You're about to dive into a true crime mystery that will stay with you. Trust me, you don't want to miss a thing. Before we begin, where are you listening from today? Drop your city or country in the comments. I love seeing how far this amazing community reaches. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a chilling story like this. Let's dive into the mystery. Ready? Let's begin. Back to the early hours of June 14, 2025. According to federal prosecutors, Bolter arrived at the home of Minnesota State Senator John Hoffman and his family during the pre-dawn hours. What happened next would set in motion a chain of events that investigators say stretched across multiple locations. Authorities alleged that Bolter approached the residence disguised as a law enforcement officer. His vehicle had been modified to resemble a police squad car, and he wore clothing designed to create the appearance of legitimacy. At first glance, everything appeared official. But appearances can be deceiving. Investigators say the family quickly realized something wasn't right. Within moments, the situation escalated into violence, leaving Senator Hoffman and his wife seriously injured. Their daughter narrowly escaped becoming another victim. As emergency responders raced to the scene, authorities were still unaware that the night was far from over. According to prosecutors, Bolter continued moving across the region. Investigators later discovered evidence suggesting that he possessed information connected to numerous public officials throughout Minnesota. What authorities uncovered next would make the case even more alarming. After visiting additional locations, Bolter eventually arrived at the home of former Minnesota House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark. By the time law enforcement reached the area, events were already unfolding. Court documents allege that officers encountered Bolter near the residence and that fire was exchanged before he managed to enter the home. Melissa and Mark Hortman lost their lives during the attack. The tragedy devastated family members, colleagues, and communities across Minnesota. Even the family's beloved golden retriever, Gilbert, suffered severe injuries and later had to be euthanized. As dawn approached, investigators faced a frightening reality. The suspect was gone, and nobody knew where he was. A massive search operation quickly expanded across the state. Law enforcement agencies coordinated one of the largest manhunts Minnesota had seen in years.
Tips poured in. Communities remained on edge. For 2 days, uncertainty dominated headlines. Then, investigators finally caught a break. Authorities located and arrested Bolter near his home in Green Isle, bringing an end to the search and beginning the next chapter of the case. But the legal battle was only getting started. Months later, the case moved through the federal court system as prosecutors prepared for trial. The stakes were enormous. Given the severity of the charges, the possibility of the death penalty remained on the table. Then came a major development. On June 11th, Bolter appeared in federal court in Minneapolis and entered guilty pleas to multiple charges connected to the attacks. The plea agreement dramatically changed the direction of the case. In exchange for pleading guilty, Bolter avoided the possibility of a death sentence. Instead, court records show he agreed to a sentence that includes 2 consecutive life terms, plus an additional 40 years in federal prison. For the families affected, the hearing represented another emotional milestone in a journey that has been anything but easy. Members of both families attended the proceedings. The courtroom was filled not only with legal arguments and formal statements, but with the weight of lives permanently changed. And while the criminal case may be nearing its conclusion, the impact continues. The Hoffmans have since pursued a civil lawsuit, arguing that the consequences of the attack remain part of their daily lives. According to court filings, both continue to face significant long-term challenges resulting from their injuries. Those documents describe lasting physical effects and ongoing recovery efforts that continue long after the headlines faded. Today, the criminal proceedings are largely settled, yet many questions still linger. How does someone carry out a plan of this scale without attracting earlier attention? Could any warning signs have been recognized sooner? And how do families rebuild after experiencing a tragedy that permanently alters their future? Those questions may never have simple answers. What is clear, however, is that this case left an indelible mark on Minnesota. It serves as a reminder of how quickly ordinary lives can be disrupted and how the consequences of a single night can echo for years afterward. As the legal process moves toward formal sentencing, one chapter is coming to a close. But for the families involved, the story is not measured in court dates or headlines. It is measured in recovery, in remembrance, and in the difficult search for a sense of normalcy after an event that changed everything. This is Beyond True Crime, and this was the case that stunned Minnesota. If you found this case compelling, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share Beyond True Crime with someone who enjoys in-depth investigations and real criminal cases. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and remember, sometimes the most unsettling truths aren't hidden in the shadows. They're hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching Beyond True Crime.